right, welcome back. Now it's time for us to get into the news review segment. And this morning on news review segment, we're going to be having some very interesting conversations. Of course, you know that over the weekend we had the NPP presidential primaries, and the former chairman of the party expresses shock over Kennedy Agyapong's performance. He's surprised that he pulled off such numbers. We also be talking. There was an unfortunate incident in Ada where there was a shooting, and someone has lost their life. A couple of people have also been injured. But Electrochem that has been involved in the incident deny any use of weapons or handling of weapons in on site. And then of course the renal unit of Kolebu was supposed to open yesterday. It didn't open. Now they're saying it's supposed to open today. Will it open or not? Well, we're going to find out. We'll get into those conversations shortly. Let me just introduce my guest to you. I have with me Larry Alansdogbe. He is the editor of the Herald newspaper, as well as Elvis Darko, the editor of the Finder newspaper and newscenter.com. Gentlemen, you're both welcome.
Thank you.
Fantastic. It's good to have you here today. How was the weekend? I mean, with all the hustle and bustle and all the, NPP things going on.
I think it's been a very good weekend. Yeah. Some surprises.
Surprises?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Which side?
Oh, in terms of the numbers gotten by, some of the aspirants.
Okay, so why don't we just delve into it there? Because Freddie Blay was saying yesterday on CNR when we interviewed him that he was actually surprised by Ken's numbers, that he got, such high numbers.
Yeah.
You are surprised as well?
Yes. Thank you, and good morning to our viewers. I was surprised about the numbers that he got. 37.4
or so percent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it was a shocker.
Really?
Yes. I was expecting him to make up some good numbers, particularly when Alan Chematin, threw in the towel and then and fled. So I was expecting,
that he will mop up and pick up some of those
exactly.
numbers.
And then Baumia will also benefit from some of that as well, because suddenly you had all the MPs and other big wigs who were with Alan declaring their support for Baumia and all that. And so I thought that, any of them were going to share the votes of Alan. However, 37.4%
it's quite
for Kennedy Agyapong. I didn't see it coming.
Why not though? Because historically, people have even nicknamed him the Trump of Ghana. People who are outliers like that and not necessarily politicians, they don't fit the politician, brand, or they tend to be, appeal to a certain grassroots movement. They tend to have an appeal among certain people, almost like anti-establishment. It's like we can talk truth to power and we're not afraid. People are drawn to those things. You didn't think it would have had an effect anyway?
We are all political animals.
Okay.
I don't fall for that thing about he not being a politician. He's a politician through and through.
But is it a typical politician?
Wait. He's a typical politician.
Really?
He has his own strategy as to how he wants to deploy that.
Okay.
This is a guy who had been in parliament for God knows how long.
Yeah.
Okay, since 2001? Was it 2001? Yeah, since 2001, he's been in parliament.
Okay.
For long. He's been, being on boards, being on other things, done whatever it is, mounted political platforms, and said the things he wanted to say based on whatever,
Yeah, but nobody does that, like Ken does. Everybody who...
How would you compare Ken to Jerry Rawlings? Was Jerry Rawlings your average politician too?
No.
He's not a politician through and through.
He's a politician through and through, but not your average politician.
Oh, man. I mean, for me, I don't see anything unique about Ken. If I know him very well, Ken is a politician through and through.
Okay.
To a point where he said he went for an election, he deployed the strategy that he felt was best for him to get the numbers. Indeed, he got some numbers, some significant numbers that he can go and trade with.
Yeah.
And bargain with. Get it, all the contracts that he was complaining about that he hadn't been paid, now paid him. Okay? Get some other contracts that he will be getting. I mean, let's face this whole thing. Because during the campaign, he said that, I mean, the government owes him. He said things that he also made comments about how, certain people who were giving, party boys who were giving contracts to execute.
Yeah.
Okay? Couldn't execute them and had to fall on him for funding. So he essentially bought those contracts to execute, and after execution, he has not been paid. We all know Ken's activities around Cocoa Board. We all know Ken's activities around Ghana Gas and many other things that would, that is on and on and on and on and on and on. So he's gotten a lot of numbers that he can use to trade with. Ken is a politician, whether we like it or not. He's gotten some numbers. And as I said, he can trade with that. He can even say that, listen, I'm no longer leaving Parliament. I want to remain in Parliament to help the government. Or I want to step back and then be a businessman or become a big wig in there. Yeah. Okay? Or I want to wait whether Baumia will make 2024 or not, okay? And then decide my political future. I would want to contest again later. So, I'm surprised, sure, I am. And like many others, people are just waiting as to what he will use those numbers for. But for me, I can see him trading with that significantly. He will profit from it. And no two ways about it.
According to Kennedy Agyapong, Kennedy still owes the party since the 90s.
He owes the party? Yeah. How much?
They said the party loaned him $3 million for something, and then he still owes. Kennedy claims he has paid that money, but Kennedy Agyapong says
he admitted that he owes. I mean, he was giving the money.
Yes, and he had paid it back.
Why? The party has money like that?
Elvis, what do you make of the fallout from first of all, Ken's performance? Or were you surprised like others have been surprised?
But he once worked with Ken, no?
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but it's...
You know that?
So
let me get that perspective.
No, when he entered the race, I was one of the people who said that Ken would dethrone Alan. If he stayed in the race,
you said that?
yes.
I actually felt that if Alan...
I was one of the people who said,
Ken would have beaten
Ken would dethrone Alan no matter what. And it happened in the August 26th.
Super
When I said, many people say, how? I said, look, I have known Ken. Ken has done so many things and said it publicly. People have this idea. Why should he be saying the things he's been doing publicly? It's a political strategy. It's to endear himself to the party people that I am the one who care about people.
Okay.
So he's done that generosity and announcing the generosity publicly. It is for a reason. His announcement of generosity has done for people. It's not because he wants to shame the people, but he just wants to put in the minds of the public and special party people that I'm the one who cares about you. But people didn't see that strategy. People will be attacking him. Why will you do something for somebody and then you come out and talk about it? Yeah. People didn't understand that strategy. He knew what he was doing from day one. He knew the vision he had, and he knew that he would need to fall on the people at the right time. But before he can fall on the people, you need to be able to convince the people that he cares about them. So all that he has been done, all support, and there's so many support to give to the party, he will make it public. It's all to put in the mind of the people that if someone really cares about the party, I am that person. And he will go out and confront the party and say that the party grassroots has been neglected and all that. He's doing that for the people to have that laugh for him that this is the man who really knows our problems and who cares about our concerns. So clearly, if you look at the trajectory of Ken's life in politics, clearly, if you are really watching clearly, you observe that he has something in mind. Okay. So when people say they didn't know that he has a president, I say no, then you are not a political watcher. If you are a political watcher and you look at how Ken does his things, you should know that he has some future vision.
Does that include the insults?
And he's positioning himself. People? Oh, you see, it's part of it. Ken is like that, but you know, we are in a generation now where people just think that insults and attacks and everything, it should be the way to go. And those are the people, those are the generation that is going to vote most. Why do you think people, look, people who are not even NPP people think that Ken is the best, okay? Because they feel that, he is meant to speak his mind. He doesn't fear anybody. This is the perception we have created in it, because we, the media, to have given our space to people to go insult, to be insulting people, attacking people. So it's become something that is ingrained in the mind of people now, that if you are to be seen as bold, you must attack people. You understand it? And lots of people are doing it. So for me, it's not a surprise. But see, those who are even surprised by the performance, I think that they're not looking at certain factors. One, see, Ken adopted a strategy. He said he will provide the jobs. He will take care of the polling, the grassroots. He is creating a new Ghana. These are some of his things. But the most potent message he preached in this campaign is that the government has abandoned those at the grassroots. Okay. It's the most potent message. In fact, every problem that NPP has, all the complaints people have within the party, he said blame it on Bawumia because they are in government. I have not been in government. So if government has disappointed and have any problem, put it on Bawumia, not me. Look, people must understand, but we actually want a hard fight. Because if a political party, and they say you have been in government, so if there's any disaffection within the party, it should be blamed on you. Do you know the numbers that are dissatisfied in the NPP? So when people said, Ken performance surprise, it's not. Because when they are blaming all the problem on Bawumia, that's number one.
What was, sorry, but the party, let's say government is led by who?
The president.
By the president.
Yes.
But don't blame, it says, listen, don't blame the president, but blame Bawumia.
You understand?
Yeah, but we were talking about the...
No, but it's a contest. The president is not contesting.
It's a contest, but it's also about economics.
Yeah,
the argument of economics.
Is not even contesting.
So maybe you can... It's an easy one for Ken to fight by saying Bawumia, the head of economic management team, is the one that is creating this.
But he knew, but he knows very well that the economic management team collapsed long ago because Ken Oforiatta and many others wouldn't allow Bawumia to run that thing well. So they invite Bawumia's committee.
Like you said, it's a contest.
So what?
It's a contest. So you use the weapons available to you.
So you see, it led to a lot of. So you see, actually, Bawumia suffered a lot of protest votes because everybody that disagreed within the party. And look at those who went and joined Ken's campaign. Even Sami Crab and those people who we've not heard for so many years have all associated themselves with Ken. Yes, a lot of people. Kwame, the man who was at Maritime, and we said he saw some plenty of conditions, and there was back and forth. Mr. Kwame Usu, was on. You realize that? You see, so there was a lot of people were aggrieved within the party who thinks that Bawumia is part of the government, so then let's get rid of him and bring somebody new. So clearly there was a lot of issues within the party. They are real. But then the message is that blame it on Bawumia because Ken is not part of government. Then, unfortunately for Bawumia too, a lot of some of the appointees that were endorsing him, especially the MPs and ministers and co, they have become so unpopular with their people. Because they have abandoned their people for long. So people also voted against Bawumia because the man who has abandoned me, who I call, he will not pick my call, is now championing the cause, following you and shouting that vote for Bawumia. So though the person may want to vote for Bawumia, when he sees that person, who he calls and he doesn't answer, who has actually cut off relationship with them all this while, following Bawumia, they say, oh, then I must vote for Ken because these people, they will have problems. Ken actually told them that all these appointees are following Bawumia. They just want to maintain their position. They just want to maintain their position. So clearly, if you look at it from that point, and then Alan's exit, which also blamed the party that there is some division and some mechanism to make somebody win. Also, people say, okay, if a big guy like Alan, few supporters of Alan will definitely go on Ken's side. So you must look at it that Bawumia just suffered a lot of protest votes, not because of him as a person. I think Bawumia actually won because people like him. Because if you look at the issues I've listed, and all of them is against one person.
A lot of numbers.
He should actually have lost the elections. Because if you look at all the problems in the party, unpopular people who have abandoned their people, and in the primary they are going to kick them off. They are all following Bawumia because they think that they want to hide behind Bawumia's popularity to go for their parliamentary seat. But the delegates have said, no, we are going to kick you off. So they show them in this election that We are waiting for you to come for your primaries. You will see. So you see, clearly, if you observe the election properly and you do the analysis, you will realize that Bawumia is a hard-fought win. Because if all these problems are blamed on one person, and the man who is coming, truly, he's not a part of government. If it's a Ghana Gas chairman, he can say it is not a significant position. But this is the vice president of the land. And if government has failed the people, and there's so much dissent and discontent within the party, and appointees have abandoned people who work with them to win the seats and whatever and get the appointment, they are not minding them and they are all angry. And you expect all these people to go and vote and say that they are going to vote for the Bawumia, especially when Ken actually has harped on that message. It's obvious. If you listen to Dr. Akutu's messages, he said there's a problem within the party and that the grassroots, all his thoughts across shows that the grassroots are not happy. So it is clear that if Bawumia is not really liked within the party, Ken would have got like 70%. If Bawumia really is not liked within the party, and lucky for him, though there are some unpopular people, he also has some very good guys, strong guys, people who are liked by so many people, the Sami Owukus, the Fred Owaris, so many people around him that also help in the fight, also have a certain connection with the people at the grassroots. So they also came to play and help him a little bit. So clearly, when people say Ken's performance is surprising, for me, if I look at all these factors, it's not surprising. I rather think that though he has gotten 37.5%, if Bawumia was not really a stronger candidate within the party, Ken would have floored him. Look, let's look at Ashanti region. Ken got over 10,000 votes from Ashanti region. Out of the 34,000. Ken got over 10,000 votes. It tells you that there are MPs in Ashanti region, the people are not happy with them. You see? There are people. The first local from Ashanti shocked everybody. Bantama, Asensu Boachi's constituency. Look at the result from Asensu Boachi's constituency. You say, Ken virtually won there. It was so close. So you clearly see that these are the signs that there's a problem within the party. And now that Bawumia has won, number one, they should be able to identify the unpopular people and let them understand that you are unpopular. If you are part of this campaign, it's going to hurt us. Let them get the people that when they go to the grassroots there to go and talk to them, the people will listen. Because with this result, it's clear that all the problems within the party is the 40% that almost 40% that Ken has gotten. And if not that Bawumia is a stronger candidate, and that there are other good people who surrounded him, Bawumia would have lost miserably. Ken will flop Bawumia so big time. So you see, we should look at this thing, and this is a message to the party going into 2024. If you don't fix your base, forget about winning the election. And if your base has given you the information, the indication in the primaries that this is what the problem is, you must sit up as quickly as possible and begin to make sure that you put in structures that will be able to address some of these grievances before you enter 2024 elections. So clearly for me, Ken's performance, I expected he would do well, but I can tell you that protest vote has helped me a lot, because everybody that is aggrieved with the government in one way or the other saw an opportunity to teach the government a lesson. And they claim that, the Akufo-Addo who want to maintain Bawumia, that they will have control of the party. Now Akufo-Addo is no longer the leader of the party. So they were looking to elect somebody who actually abandoned all that group of people. So if you look at the Ken's vote, clearly they were trying to tell Akufo-Addo that we wanted to actually abandon you and all your people and bring somebody else into the party. So for me, I think that this is how I look at it, and I think that Bawumia deserves a lot of credit. For the he's the first timer flag bearer that has gotten 61.7%. No flag bearer was elected at first. Everyone was elected first, it was 56.5%. So he's the first timer that got the highest percentage of endorsement in the NPP. So see, when you look at the other factors, people say, 61 is not strong. If you look at all these factors, then you know that Bawumia is a very strong candidate within the party. If not, he would have lost miserably. Because I say, Ken already has put people love by he has people loving in the party. And then with all these problems in addition heaped on Bawumia, in addition to the love that the people have for him, he couldn't beat Bawumia. It should tell you that Bawumia is a very strong candidate. And you see, it has made Ken virtually the presumptive candidate for the NPP in 2028. Yes, it has made Ken clearly the presumptive candidate for.
You think
he can set up his systems well now, and decide to work towards 2028. It will be difficult for anybody to beat Ken in 2028.
No, but I disagree with you. Let me put it this way. See, as at 2007, or was it 2007? When NPP went with the 17
aspirants.
Exactly. Alan Chamatin became presumptive. I mean, by his argument, Alan Chamatin became presumptive candidate. Okay, because he came second. Okay, to Nanado. But subsequently, when Nanado couldn't make 2008, Alan couldn't become the flag bearer for the NPP for 2012. He and He and Nanado went again, and Nanado, flawed him, and Nana's votes kept increasing subsequently. Okay, so it doesn't really apply that Bawumia might lose 2024. Okay.
2028. I'm saying 2028 as presumptive candidate.
I'm saying that it doesn't apply that Bawumia will lose. Bawumia will lose 2024, and then by 2020, then the flag bearer. In the flag bearer contest between Bawumia and Ken, Ken will automatically, surpass exactly. It doesn't really apply that way because then Bawumia.
That's why I think Alan didn't make it.
Is that if he puts his structures in place well?
I can give you fact. That's why Alan's popularity began to drop.
Oh, we've all had
the qualities Ken has. Alan didn't have those qualities within the party.
We've all had this argument. Argument several
times. Strengths within the party compared to Ken's current strength within the party, they are not comparable at all.
Okay.
If Alan had that kind of strength
within the party,
the kind of strength Ken has now is the kind of strength Akufo-Addo had at the time. That's why Alan could not beat him, because Akufo-Addo was very strong within the party at the time, and he keeps increasing his percentage from time to time. His popularity in the party, his liking by the majority of the people, and everything was stronger than Alan. But in this context, you realize that as a first-timer, Ken, who is also not backed by the establishment, but Alan was backed by the establishment at the time. Ken is not backed by the establishment, but Alan, we are told at the time, was backed by the establishment. So if you are comparing Alan and Ken's strength within the party and the votes they got, they'll be completely different because Ken has different qualities, Alan has different qualities. Ken didn't have establishment backing, Alan had establishment backing. So if you look at other factors, Ken will be stronger if you compare to Alan's time. That's why Alan began to fall.
What qualities does Ken have?
No, I'm telling you, internal party elections, it's about how the grassroots see you.
One of the things,
at the time, how was Alan's closeness to the people? I've always asked people, hardly will you even see they say Alan has gone to do a donation to this group, or has done this to this people, or has done that.
I don't know what
Alan's, in fact, in terms of continuous presence within the party, was missing. So after the race, Alan will just.
Ken is in parliament. Ken is in parliament.
Yes.
Ken has a media house to himself. So you get it.
Those are factors that play on his.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are factors. And I also think that, you see, people are drawn to apparently strong leaders, people who appear to be strong. People want to follow them, right? And when you put Alan on one side, you put Ken.
Ken is strong.
No, it's a perception. It's a perception of strength. You see, for example, if
insults doesn't empower anybody.
It's not about the insults.
It rather puts people.
No, it's not about the insults. You see, the things you hear Ken say. People who are upset by him are people like you, middle class and upper class people. You are upset by him. The grassroots, they are inspired because it's like, wow, we can't say these things to people, but he's standing up to them. You see, and that's what makes people are drawn to him, and that's a factor that I think that has played on his. To his benefit in many ways, but you don't seem to agree.
Listen, this guy tells you that, something, the government doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
Okay, the party doesn't care about you. Yet he's part of government.
Yes.
He's the board chair. I'm coming. He's the board chair of Ghana Gas. In Parliament, he sits. He's the rank. Sorry, he's the committee chairman on what? Defense and Interior.
Yes.
Okay.
He used to be communication.
You get it?
Yes.
Outside Parliament, the wife is supposed to be the chairperson of the Shippers Council.
Okay.
Yet he's not part of government.
He's not part of the executive.
But the government is the executive.
No, but if you say government to
would you allow me finish?
No, but I'm saying if you say
Would you allow
government to
me
the
finish?
delegate down there.
Would you allow me
He
finish?
doesn't see you if you're not a minister.
Would you allow me finish?
Go ahead.
Allow you. No, that's not the point you're coming
The
from.
guy gets every contract that he wants. And if he has to blackmail you to get a contract, he blackmails you to get a contract. Yet he's not. He gets paid. Yet he's not part of it. What the monies that he gets paid, doesn't he go to the people?
People to get contracts. Yeah.
Oh, listen, Ken does a lot of things in this country that you have no idea of. In this election, he went and telling people that, listen, went after the man's marriage. All the things that he said. Listen, I am planning NDC strategy. All I need are videos of this, of all that he said. Okay? Let NPP dare put him on a platform. Whatever he says, we play that video. Whatever he says, we play that video. Whatever he says, we play a counter video. And let's see what. But the 2 videos, by the time it's done, okay? The Bawumia campaign is totally out. And this is the guy we are saying now, listen, he's tough, he's this, grassroots, that, so and so. Say that the unreasonable side of the, of the party supported him. And then he got these numbers. But in any day, on any day, I don't think you will walk into a ballot box, pick a paper and say that, listen, I'm voting for Ken. Okay. Based on what criteria? Okay. What jobs?
Okay. How do you think...
Do you know how his media empire is functioning?
How do you think, and this is maybe an aside, but how do you think Trump won with all the videos and audios that came out about him, even during the campaign period?
You don't compare Trump to...
No,
you don't compare Trump to Ken.
It was the same things you are accusing Ken of. It's the same things that
you don't
Trump
compare.
was accused with.
No, Trump...
In a society that is supposedly more elite than ours and more enlightened than ours.
See, I think the Trump and Hillary kind of contest, I think presented a different dynamic.
Okay.
Presented a different dynamic altogether. This what? I think Hillary won the popular vote. Exactly. Yeah. And Trump won the electoral college, and so on. I think there's something I didn't know we are coming to discuss this, but there were job issues as well. Hillary's relationship with Obama also played a factor. The war in Libya played a factor. The Russian and then the Russians' involvement in the election as well also played a factor in all that. Okay. And so all that Trump needed to do, particularly with the Russia or foreign policy, was to say that, you know something, you can't trust Hillary. And that even emails that were supposed to be official were sent to her privately. Okay, and he gave a certain, impression.
A person who couldn't be trusted.
Yeah. Do you get it?
Yeah,
at the time,
he spun it very well.
At the time, also, then the American ambassador to Libya had been killed, and people were blaming it on Hillary.
Yeah.
You get it? And Trump, all that Trump had to do was to pose that, listen, I won't do this, I won't do that. Let's build America again, a stronger America. And that Obama, could weaken us and so on. So the dynamics are totally different. But let's come back home, okay, to where the Ghanaian situation.
Yeah.
I think that the election, last Saturday's election or contest, gave an indication as to where we are heading as far as 2024 is concerned. And if almost 40%, did not support the establishment candidate, in this case, Bawumia, I think that the NPP would have to really sit up Okay, going to 2024.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you would have a situation where all that the NDC needs to do is to plan around that. Go down, investigate, I mean, what decided the people's vote.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we go for the break. Look, the 40%, 37% that voted for Ken.
Yeah.
And the 60%, 61% that voted for Bawumia.
Yeah.
Does that not show
The spot ballots as well.
Good. So I'm looking at real protest votes will be people who absent or even deliberately spoil their votes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the real protest.
Yeah.
Against the party.
Protest voters that come and vote against the party, the candidate say it's establishment candidate.
Really?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, when the contest now becomes NDC MPP,
Yeah.
the people that voted for Ken will all come and back Bawumia anyway, because this is our party man.
No, the problem is if you don't solve the problem, there will be apathy.
Yeah.
So they won't go and vote at all. See, within internal party, we are teaching you a lesson. But when it comes to general election, and I'm not voting because if I go to the polls, I'm not going to vote.
Listen,
so there's a difference.
Yes, what he said is true. In 2016, what then President Mahama suffered, particularly in Volta region, was apathy. Was apathy. So this is your stronghold and other things. Now, there are stories about how Voltarians were not getting certain projects and so on here and there. But then they were presented with green books
and
billboards for people to we put protest to go on radio and TV to go and tell the people that, oh, do you know something, in Brown-Hafo, our government has done this. In Ashanti region, there's a market that has been built. In Greater Accra, Dubai, you have the Dubai, interchange.
Like we haven't seen some before.
Exactly. In Legon Hospital, and then the Voltarians were asking, so what did you give us? Because even our roads are bad. Eastern Corridor, nothing, and so on. So NDC suffered a lot of that, within this stronghold. That the 40% that is happening within the MPP, if the government has done so well, you wouldn't have Ken talking the way he's talking. And then, getting the numbers that he got. So all that the NDC needs to do, if they are minded, is to go down and then use this to justify why they are better off.
As a better option.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.